Hey there, it's Rob with Synapse Wireless, and in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to walk you through SimplySnap Cloud for outdoor site and area applications. I've got my iPad here set up and the SimplySnap Cloud web app installed. I'm going to go ahead and open that up and log in with my user credentials. And this particular user account that I'm using is one I use for demos, so it has access to specific sites. When a customer logs in, they would have access to however many sites they're managing from SimplySnap. And so you can see here's a list of some sites I have access to. I'm going to go ahead and log into our outdoor demo site. And this is set up to mimic an actual customer that is using our controls in a shopping center. So let me zoom in here so you can see a little better. Here on the bottom, we can see instant status. Right now, there are no alarms in the system. All the lights are functioning properly. 43 to be exact are working, and they're currently off. I can tell that by the icon with the empty circle. If I click on the map, the nearby results sidebar slides out and I can select a scene to quickly turn my lights on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and click apply scene. And this is the scene that runs at sunset, but here I am during the day. So all of those lights are just switched on, and you can see they respond immediately to the commands from the system. And then if I want to shut them back off again, click on the map and then go apply the off scene. If I want to get some more information about a zone or an individual light, I can click on that particular area of the map and then click on the zones tab. And here I can see pole 12. That's where I actually clicked on the map. So I can highlight that specific pole. And if I want, I can go change the behavior of that individual zone, turn that on, off, or dim it. Or I could turn on the occupancy sensor that's attached to one of the lights on that pole. And then I can also click on one of the individual lights and see some more information. Here's the MAC address of the controller. I could go turn that individual light on if I want, or drag it and put it at a specific dimming level, or then go shut that particular light off. You can also see the scenes that are associated with that light and any zones that that light is currently assigned to. Now, as you saw a second ago, we just have two scenes set up in the system. We're turning the lights on and we're turning the lights off. Any old photocell can turn lights on or off in a parking lot. What we want to show here is the real value of having a controller on every individual light and being able to dim those lights and use that in combination with sensors for this shopping center when there's no activity overnight. We want to switch to occupancy and dim those lights down to a lower level. All right, I'm going to go up to the menu here in the upper left. Click on menu and you can see here are the options. I've got the map view, which is where I currently am. I've got scenes, schedule, alarms, and power. So we're going to start with the scenes page. And if I click on one of the existing scenes, I'm going to see some more details about the behavior that's assigned to those scenes and then all of the zones. This site, every single pole is its own zone, and there's an occupancy sensor on both of the lights. So if either of those occupancy sensors detect occupancy, it's going to turn that pole on. If we're using an occupancy behavior, at the moment, we're not. So that's what we're going to go set up. We're going to go over here to this 3 vertical dots on the right, and we're going to click duplicate. I'm going to save some time by using an existing scene that's set up so that it gives me all of the zones that will match the previous scene that I already have in the system. And I'm going to go click edit. And I'm going to change this to be, this will be for our shopping center overnight. We're going to call it overnight occupancy. And I need to change the behavior from off to occupancy. And when I select occupancy, you can see here's some new options here where I can select the dimming level, and I'm going to use 60%. Now, there's not a huge difference in the light level change between 100 and 60%, but you're going to get an additional 30 to 40% of energy savings. So it's really worth, after hours, dimming those lights down to a lower level. We're going to say after 5 minutes of occupancy, if there's no one around, bring those lights down to 30%. All right, so we've got 30% set up. I'm going to save scene. And now we want to put that scene on a schedule. So we want to run this. The shopping center closes at 10, and we're going to run this at 11 o'clock at night. So right now you can see here's the name of the scene, overnight occupancy. I've got 2 options for when to run the scene. I can do it using solar time, like dawn, dusk, sunrise, or sunset, or at a specific time. In this case, we want to run it at 11 o'clock. So I'm going to select 11 o'clock p.m. And then we want that to run 7 days a week. All right, so we've put that scene on the schedule. You can see here it is 11 o'clock. And then here are the other 2 events that were already set up to shut the lights off at dawn and then 10 minutes prior to dusk using that solar time, turn the lights on to 100% dimming. Now, we've set this up and we want to really show now what kind of energy savings are we getting. Because we have a controller on every light, we're getting power data from those lights up into the cloud system that we can use for up to 5 years for generating an energy report. So let's go look. And this time I'm going to actually switch over to the real version of this customer so you can see what sort of energy savings they're getting by using occupancy overnight. Okay, so we're going to go select the zone that we're interested in looking at power data for. And in this case, I want to look at everything. So I'm going to select zone all. And here is the last 24 hours. You can see the period here is set to the last day of power for that site. So I can click on the map and I can see every hour what the usage is. And you can see there's a pretty significant drop here after 11 o'clock when the site switches to occupancy. Now this customer has 12 locations around the US and they wanted to look at exactly how much their lighting was costing them and how much they were savings from using the controls. So you can see here in the upper left, we can change the period and actually go back and look at different time ranges. And I could look at the last year. If I wanted to change that and look at the last month, last week, you can even configure a custom date range. So this customer went in and looked at the last year of usage for each of the locations, and they were able to generate a report. Over here in the upper right, you can see download CSV, pull that data into Excel, and then they could see that they were getting on average about 30% of savings from the controls alone, which is pretty powerful and helps the controls to really pay for itself and continue adding value for the customer. And that is SimplySnap Cloud for outdoor site and area lighting. Hopefully this video was helpful. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.